Hello there, welcome to another RHLSTP, this week with the amazing Steve McNeil. You can find him on Twitch doing great stuff. You can also find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/rkherring. If you're so minded, you can give us some money for the Twitch stream. Best of all, if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can give us £5 or 5 of your local currency every month at no cost to yourself. We get most of it. It's done okay so far, but if you're an Amazon Prime member and you want to give us some free money, go to my YouTube channel, Herring1967. There's a video on there explaining how you do it. It's just got to link the accounts and then subscribe and remember to come back every month and do it again. And you'll be giving us free money right from Ian Amazon's stupid pockets. He's an idiot. Why is he giving away all this free money? I don't care. Let's fund all of our podcasts via Ian Amazon's insane generosity. And we'll hopefully be able to use it to film the live RHLSTPs. We will also be streaming those when they come back. And if you want to watch some RHLSTPs, we are doing them remotely. We did one with Adam Buxton a couple of weeks ago. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m, twitch.tv/rkherring. You can watch me chatting live with some guest or other. I don't know who they're going to be. I haven't planned that far in advance. But every Wednesday, 8 o'clock. And there's also 8 o'clock every morning. Most mornings I do stone clearing out on the field. 7:30 p.m. most weekdays. I am, not Wednesdays, I am playing snooker against myself. And I've been playing Football Manager. I'm going to play a bit of Scrabble. And we're going to see what else we can come up with to entertain with you during these dark days. Hope you're all okay. And do stay inside. And look after yourselves, please. It's a very scary time, but I think we can get through it with a little bit of luck. So let's sit back, relax, and enjoy RHLSTP with Steve McNeil. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, welcome to the Northampton Deco. That light just flashing, it's just putting me off. Please welcome a man who has just found Jesus, so now it's his turn to hide. It's Richard Herring! Thank you very much, hello Northampton! How are your shoes? It's all going well, hooray! Welcome to Richard Herring's LST podcast. It's like LSD, but it's 16 times stronger. Because LSE, LSF, we've got up to... I'm waiting till LSV before I get into it. It's going to be the good stuff. Yeah. Gets hard to do those. It's been a long tour. I was hanging around at Bletchley Park the other day, and the nerds who work there told me that what the Nazis called this is dependent on that stage settings on the Enigma machine. But so what helped them crack the code was that they realised, and they all called it RHLSTP. They used it as the phrase every morning. That's the opening phrase. That's how they cracked the code. Very specific Bletchley Park. Princess Diana material went down better with last week's audience. So I'll remember that. You were much worse than last week's audience. What have I got for you? I'm annoyed. We had, I don't know if any of you were here last week, we had Reverend Richard Coles on, and I didn't ask him a single emergency question. I did back in the backstage bits, there's a few, but I had meant to ask him, have you ever seen a Holy Ghost? And I forgot to do that. But just as we're recording this, the Sean Williamson, Barry from EastEnders podcast has just gone out, in which I asked him, have you ever seen a ghost? And he replied that he had a ghost in his house, and Derek Acora had been round and said she was called Rosemary. And we recorded it so long ago. Today, that was on the front page of the Daily Star. The headline, Barry from EastEnders has a ghost in his house. That's the kind of thing you get on this podcast. Out of all the things that have happened on this podcast, that was not the one I expected to get on the front page of a newspaper. But there we go. Anything else happened in this week that I was going to talk about? Probably not. This morning, I was looking after my kids yesterday, and, I
when you're self-employed and you have kids and you look after kids as well in the day, you don't bother washing most of the time. And I hadn't had a bath for 48 hours. Okay, and I said to my wife, I'm going out, I'm going to take him to soft play. She said, you should have a shower before you go. I said, I'm just going to soft play, it'll be fine. And most parents, when you go out, are like me, just slovenly and disgusting, because that's the way. There was this very attractive, glamorous woman there, like too glamorous to be a parent, but she had a little girl with her. She's all done up. And she was in the soft play, and I'd forgotten, in the soft play, of course, you exert yourself quite a lot, and it's quite an enclosed area, and I started to realise I smelt really badly. And I felt embarrassed, because there was a nice lady there who'd done herself up. So that's what's happened to me this week. I thought I'd get away with not, man, no one's going to care if I smell. All the other parents, you look at them, we've given up. You give up, you think we're not a sexual being anymore. It doesn't matter, this woman was all pumped up. She's had some work done, I think. It disgusts me when people are like that. Can be a parent and become disgusting. Don't stay sexy, it's not on. Especially when I'm stinky. Anyway, hopefully my wife won't listen to this one. Oh, she definitely won't. She won't be interested in this guest. Will you please welcome my guest this week? She is not a nerd. He is best known for being the future face of Bovril. That is the first time we've had someone best known for something they haven't yet done. It's Steve McNeil, ladies and gentlemen. Steve McNeil. Welcome. It is random. I got it off your books. That's right, isn't it? I got it right.
The future face of Bovril.
Yeah.
You've got it, yeah. I mean, I'm immediately going to alienate the entire... Is anybody familiar with Twitch as a thing? Like 6 people. So I do a thing on Twitch. I stream games from my house, basically. I sit in my house and I play video games and they watch me on a webcam and give me money to do that, which has made that less clear to everybody. That is a thing I do. But yes, I always drank Bovril. Right. Was on the thing, so they started a campaign to harass Bovril to make me the face of Bovril.
Yeah, it could happen.
Well, no one else is, so it's wide open, so potentially they could, but yeah, as yet they've not bitten.
No, okay. Well, good luck. I hope you will be the future face of Bovril.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, it'd be good. You'd probably get some free Bovril.
I'd take the money. Yeah, free Bovril. Well, Bovril's not expensive, but the cash, I could say, that'd be much more helpful, yeah.
Okay. So, well, let's have a look. I've been listening to your audiobook today, which is all about the history of the video game industry.
Yes.
It's really, that doesn't sound like it's going to be good. Does it? I mean, no. To some people you think, oh, that's going to be all right, but it's really good.
You're actually enjoying it? Or you just...
I'm really good.
Oh,
it's
okay.
really
Right,
good. Genuinely really good. I'm not to the end yet, so I don't know what happened. Don't spoil the ending for me. Don't let me know whether Miss Pacman dies. But, it's kind of incredible. You sort of make a living now from video, just from playing video games.
Yes, yes, but in all sorts of different ways. So Twitch, which 6 of you engage with, and that's how I do that. But also lots of other things. So I actually, you're sort of a role model for me when I started out doing it. In all seriousness, because I do lots of different things and have I have a small but not small. That wasn't meant as an insult. But I have a small but loyal sort of fan base who enjoy the different things. So I've got live shows which I do with Rob Sedgebeer, who I know you know.
I do know.
I've got I do a podcast. I've got the Twitch stuff. TV stuff as and when with the rise and fall of the market, but yeah, sort of lots of different little pockets of things that somehow become a job, but none of them individually are a job. I've managed to amass enough different things that it is sort of a job.
Yeah, but that's the kind of thing, like when you were a kid sitting at home in the 1980s.
All right, yeah, no, that's fair.
You would have said, I'd love to get a job. My job that I would like to have done was watching telly and writing about it.
Sure.
That's what I thought would be a good job to get. Or just get free video. The idea of getting free video games and playing them all day.
Well, I still don't get them free. Like when we did Go 8-Bit, we had a TV show called Go 8-Bit where comedians play video games. For about 2 months while it was on, but then I don't have the bottle to ask for free games.
Right.
So I still pay full price for all the games. I'm sure I could ask if I could work at who, but
You should get free ones. But you are playing video games and writing about the history. When you were writing about the history, it's a very... I think for anyone, it's probably of our age group, and I'm a little bit older than you, it's very evocative because it takes you right through. I was there right through for not quite the beginning, I realised, having listened to your book.
Sure.
But certainly Pong.
Yep.
And, the first time I played Space Invaders, I remember clearly everything about that day.
So what year were you born?
67.
Okay, so you did actually get like Pong and Space Invaders.
Yeah, so my daughter, my sister, same thing. I was from Somerset. My sister bought me a thing you could plug in the back of the TV to play Pong, and I think a football game. There was a few different games on there.
Yeah, they were all Pong, but they had a different number of paddles and balls.
Yeah. Oh, you've ruined the illusion for me. I was saying backstage, I remember just the smell, the evocative smell of when you plugged that in.
Yeah, of what no doubt was a potential fire hazard and did start many fires in houses because electrics were dodgy. But yeah, the sort of dust burning on the electrics.
You would put them into the aerial socket of your TV, basically, and then it was ready to go. It was incredible. And I remember with Phil Fry, who knew about everything before I did, my friend Phil Fry.
You said Phil Fry, and I thought, I don't know who Phil Fry is, but it's just your mate. Okay.
He's also a character in Futurama. Philip Fry is the lead character in Futurama, but it's not the same guy.
No.
Because my friend is not a cartoon. Yet. He took me down to the Cliff Hotel on Cheddar Gorge.
Right.
And he'd already been down there. He knew all about Space Invaders, and I played Space Invaders badly, and he went, no, you've got to wait here, and you've got to take out the line. So I can remember just the amazing... And I was really into pinball, which your book talks about quite a lot, which I was quite... the history of pinball is more interesting.
Well, the pinball. I mean, this. I don't know. If just to gauge, if you care at all about video games, make some sort of noise now. Oh, okay.
They're all nerds. They're nerds.
I suppose it's your.
And there's a couple of Christians in who got confused.
Okay. So that was enough for me to be happy. So I will now go down my nerd rabbit hole. But the pinball thing is exciting because pinball actually where it starts is the book does is bagatelle, which was when it was all wooden and mechanical. You just pulled a little stick and then the balls just fell in holes, and then it slowly evolved. But what was really exciting about pinball was that it was loads of different things. So it was the electricity allowing you to have actual magnets and turning things on and off, then having the rolling counters and the digital things, and actually. The coin ops as well, so actually vending machines, the precursor of vending machines having coin ops and things. So pinball is just all of the new ways that you could make somebody who was in a place just put 10 cents or a quarter or whatever in a thing and have fun. So pinball defines all of the ways you did that, and then everything else comes from that. So without pinball, you don't have any of the other things, but no one cares about pinball, except you and me.
I love pinball. I mean, I prefer pinball to video games. I didn't know that early pinball machines didn't have flippers. That blew my mind.
Yeah, no, well, neither did I. So, for ages, the ball just fell in the holes and that was it. You were done. But and then he went, we should stop that.
I remember playing bagatelle. That was the thing. Like as a tiny child, all the old people had bagatelle boards.
Yeah, so 1700s. So it goes all the way back to that. But yeah.
Yeah, but I think that all that it's an interesting. Development of video games because it sort of obviously started with these massive computers that were too expensive for that anyone thought. The idea of everyone having a computer was insane. The idea of being able to play those games in your house.
Yeah, it was only really educational establishments were the places where the things was. But for some reason they would let just kids who were studying. So it was at the Tech Model Railroad Club. So literally the nerds who like to play with toy trains were just allowed to go into the computer lab and play on the $250,000 computer. And that's where we got Space War, which was the first game. But you wouldn't, like that computer would be worth about $200 million now. Yeah. You wouldn't just let the guys who like playing with toy trains in to piss about with it when you were shut. No. But back then it was a free-for-all and that's where,
Yeah, but listening to that and the way, because you would just think this would never evolve into anything. The people who realised there was a potential of putting this in arcades or in people's homes were pretty visionary or just crazy, right? Because
there was no market for it. So it was creating a market that didn't exist and thinking that.
And those early games were bad. I mean, the thing I thought listening to the book, like if people talk about it's sort of an example of evolution, right?
Yes, indeed.
Because people say with evolution, how did the eye evolve? It's so complicated, it would never evolve, so that proves evolution doesn't exist. But computer games are sort of the same as that, because the early ones are shit.
Yeah.
And yet people still wanted to play them. Well, now the new ones are like an eye, and the early ones are like a little cell that detected light.
Well, that was a bit with the first Space War, which was the first game, was very so. People are more familiar with the game Asteroids, where you've got like rotating clockwise and anti-clockwise and thrust and shoot and hyperspace and all these things. But Space War had all that, but it came out in 1962, and no one had a clue what to do with it. So it took 19 years for them to then go back through Pong and Space Invaders and things to then, when Asteroids finally turned up, people were ready to have enough buttons. Like you were saying, you only play Scrabble on your phone because you can't work out controllers. So it's that. Yeah. Let's say that now you need to have gone through all the steps to be able to actually do the modern thing.
Yeah, well, I stopped playing video games, apart from like the odd computer game like Civilization, which I still play every now and again. Yeah. I sort of stopped playing video games in the 90s, so I can't don't understand how anything works now.
No.
Like Gauntlet, I was very much into. I was good, quite
Okay.
good at Gauntlet. I don't know if you cover that in the book.
I genuinely had a rule with the book just because I wanted to make sure the index looked cool. So I will have mentioned the game Gauntlet, even if I just said the word Gauntlet. So it'll be in there just for completeness. But yeah,
That was a favourite of mine. But there's sort of it's a lot quite. You know, these guys taking chances, everyone copying ideas off of each other, and like a lot of sort of stoners and hippies, kind of just chucking stuff
yeah.
around.
When Atari started out, their warehouse was a disused ice rink, and they just employed dealers just because they could pay them in cash and let them do what. So then, when they started nicking all the tellies, they then started employing actual people rather than the criminals. But yeah, the entire thing's a scam at the beginning.
Yeah. And I kind of like the genesis of Pacman to Miss Pacman, Ms. Pacman.
Ms. Pacman.
Yeah.
Yes, because I mean, I'm just going to tell you things that are in my book, and then you can decide if you like it, I guess. But yeah, the Ms. Pacman thing is wonderful because originally they were going to call her it was going to be Mrs. Pacman, but then they found out it was Miss Pacman. Then they made a cut scene in the game where Pacman and Miss Pacman have a baby delivered by a stork. Because she was Miss Pacman, that meant the baby was born out of wedlock. So they then had to go back and call her Mrs. and then Ms. to stop people hassling them about the sexual shenanigans of a yellow circle that didn't exist. But yes, there's all those weird, quirky little things. Yeah.
Well, it's good. If you're into video games, it's a really fascinating examination. But let's talk about you, Steve. So. You started out. I mean, what were you doing before you were doing comedy at all? Were you?
I worked in fitness club franchising in Milton Keynes for 10 years. Energy. You've got one in the high street that you're scared of.
I went past it.
There you go.
Yeah.
I've
never heard of
that.
them.
No, I know. That's a shame, isn't it? Yeah, I was in marketing there for a bit. So.
You should work harder at that.
I think it's someone else's turn now.
I nearly went in and said, come on in and, you do it now or something. It was one of those sort of things. And I thought, well, if I can escape from the terrifying people of Northampton,
just to get me off this fucking street, I will absolutely come.
And I'll run on a treadmill, so it might work out. And so you start out in the double act. Was that your first?
I was in double act with Sam Pamphilon, who was the other team captain on Go 8-Bit. We started out in 2009.
Right.
We started off writing sitcoms, so we did the sitcom trials. Do you know the sitcom trials? So we did the sitcom trials, and the first thing that we did actually won the sitcom trials. That got us attention from the BBC, and Ian Morris, who makes the In-Betweeners, sort of took us under his wing and helped us start writing. And then, the sketch comedy thing. In fact, the sketch comedy thing originally, was Brendan Burns. I was in Brendan Burns' show in 2000.
So that was before. That was before you were doing.
I'd literally just come out of theatre school. So Brendan Burns' show, which one was the Perrier? I think it was the If Doc comedy.
Yeah,
but
that means you've won an If Doc comedy award, right?
Yep, and that is the envy of no one because no one's ever heard of If Doc comedy. But Brendan won the show and I was in it. But I was up there doing a musical about anti-terror legislation at the Pleasance, which actually got 5 stars in the Guardian, but it sounds shit as a thing. But I was doing that musical, and then there was an advert on Chortle on the forums on there when they had forums that just said we're looking for, I think it was a white guy, a black guy and an Asian woman at the time to be in this controversial comedian show. It was 10 quid a night. So I was just up in Edinburgh just doing a musical which didn't make any money. So I just met up with, I was the only person really, me and Sajila, who ended up being in it, met up and said, yeah, I'll be in it for 10 quid. And all I had to do was sit there for an hour and let him spit on me. And then, and then it won the award. But I got a taste for comedy through that, really. I enjoyed doing comedy plays at theatre school and things, but never got into it.
So in the Brendan Burns thing, you were sort of disgruntled audience members.
The conceit of the show, it goes viral every 2 years. And then,
spoilers.
If
you haven't yet seen this.
Well, anybody who sees it now sees it out of context and thinks I'm just a dickhead at a gig, because when the YouTube clip goes viral, the 2 minutes. But throughout the show for an hour, he assumed that me and Sajila were a couple, and then it transpired that we were brother and sister, and it became a very awkward thing where he was dealing with an egginess with race within the room, and sort of the denouement of that was us revealing we were complicit in it. But Sajila did a lot more work than I just had to sit there and beat an awkward white man, which, as you can tell, that's very
Did
much
you ever
my
get any
wheelhouse.
hassle from the audience in that show, though?
I got hit loads, but only by middle-aged women. The only people that ever hit me were middle-aged women, and they got very angry.
You're like a wrestler. That's what happened to the rest. Big Daddy used to get...
Right,
great giant haystacks used to get hit by middle-aged old ladies.
Yeah, people next to me, usually angry that I wasn't sticking up for my sister, but
Right.
No one else ever touched me, but middle-aged women hated me.
So after that, you were then in the double act?
Yeah, so I wanted to start... doing sketch comedy.
They let us know when the shows are ended, but all the lights will be out. When they've decided
Just turn
to
off one every 5
yeah.
minutes, and
Yeah.
when it's pitch black, we stop. So I just reached out to people who knew it, and there was 15 of us in a sketch group, which was creatively called The Collective, and they slowly drifted away and became 6. But the 6 was Jess Robinson, who's brilliant musical impressionist, Ollie Lansley, who writes Furlers on Fonts Cerebra, does all the cool installations and plays, Sam's now ex-wife. I think that's, nobody knows he's getting divorced, that's fine. I don't think I've outed them.
Okay.
When does this go out?
Well, after that's all
let's
sorted out.
wait, after that's all. And then Sam and me, but everybody drifted away.
Those people exist in the actual current time frame, though, the people out there in the audience.
Okay.
So they've heard the piece of information, but carry on.
Well, I'm hoping they won't, because I'm not sure I should have said that. But yeah, so they all drifted away, and then it was just left with me and Sam. So it wasn't that we created a double act, it's that 13 other people fucked us off and just left the two of us doing the thing. And so we became a double act by everybody else leaving.
And did the Go 8-bit thing come out of, like, you just by chance doing it? You were going to do a double act show in Edinburgh?
We'd given up. So we did 3 shows, and the third was 2010 to 2012, and the third one got long listed for the Edinburgh Comedy Award, which you're not allowed to. No one, that never gets announced. So we got close, then we didn't get on the shortlist. We had a really miserable last couple of days in 2012. And then we'd had a sitcom pilot commissioned by the BBC, and so we got to April of 2013, and at the time we had 2 things. We had a song about camels that was shit, and a sketch that involved listing off-white shades of paint for about 8 minutes, which wasn't worth the walk. And so we decided we weren't going to go to Edinburgh, we'd focus on this sitcom. But we had this idea for the other thing where we just thought, well, it's not really worked, it's not going anywhere, but if we get pissed and get comedians drunk and get them to play Mario Kart and swear at each other, we could probably charge drunk Scottish people a few quid to watch that, and we could all have fun.
Yeah.
It was literally designed as we've given up, but we could at least go and have fun with the friends that we've made over the last few years before we call it a day. And then that immediately became far more successful than the work that we tried to write for the last 5 years.
Well, it's often the way, but it's a great idea, and it's obviously led pretty quickly to the TV show, right?
Pretty much, yeah. So the first shows were 2013. It was a friend of ours, Rohan, picked it up for development within a couple of months after we'd done the first Edinburgh run and developed it. But then it got greenlit at the end of 2015. So it was from a piss up in a fringe venue to a TV commission was 2 years, which really isn't that long. And then we had to make the whole thing in 3 months, which is why it was sometimes shit.
But they made changes, right? Obviously, the main change was Dara was brought in so it became Dara O'Brien's Go 8-bit.
Yeah, so it was McNeil and Pamphilon Go 8-bit, and then it was Dara O'Brien's Go 8-bit. Not Dara's choice, but the thing that always frustrated about it, we knew where we were on the pecking order. So it's fine that it put Dara's name at the start of the EPG, and then everybody will watch the programme because they see his name, and that's fine. But it doesn't make sense, because McNeil and Pamphilon Go 8-bit was like Go Ape Shit. It was just a shit pun. But Dara O'Brien's Go Ape Shit doesn't mean anything. So it was even the shit pun didn't work in the title of the show as the first thing. But Dara came on. Ellie Gibson, who was a games journalist, but then in Scummy Mummies now, comedian, she became the sort of expert. And so, and then that meant that me and Sam didn't need to be there. But I think everybody felt too awkward to tell us to fuck off. So we sat on sofas next to famous people every week and waved at the camera at the start.
But you've got a download DVD of some of the book reading, right? So with Go Faster Stripe.
Oh, what I did, I've got a special. They've actually sent it out today, so it's just coming out. But essentially, I was contractually obliged to do a book tour when I got commissioned to write the book.
Yeah.
But book tours are really boring, so I just came up with other things I could do that weren't reading the book. So the DVD is an hour of me avoiding doing the book reading, essentially.
But you talk about there's a bit where you compare the going to TV as to being like Wayne's World, where Wayne's World gets taken over by the TV company, and the guys have to go, oh, okay, it all gets.
Yeah, by the time
the raw idea gets turned into something more commercial. And do you feel that was how it went when it went onto TV?
It definitely got sanitised, but then it was, to their credit as well, it was very lads. Because it was an all-male cast when it was a live show, and it was very jackassy. So if we lost, we did forfeits like eat a bowl of jalapenos or give each other dead arms. It was very visceral and boysy. So if you're going to make a TV show and it's going to be light entertainment and family, you can't do those sorts of things. There were softenings. I think one of the guys who was senior didn't particularly like my brand of comedy. So I think me and Sam really suffered in the edit for the thing.
Yeah.
But to a large extent as well, if you've got Jonathan Ross and Richard Osman on one week, they're far more famous than us. People are going to tune in for them, not us, and you want to make the most of them to get people to come back. So I think we suffered by having our jobs pushed to the side when we brought in Dara and Ellie, and we never really found where we sat in it. So If we'd said something so funny you couldn't pretend we hadn't, it would go in the edit. But other than that, there wasn't really the space within the format for us to breathe in it, I guess.
Yeah, but it's sort of weird because that often happens with, like, I think Do the Right Thing. They sort of try to take that to telly, and they added some bits and things that took away from what makes it work. It feels a bit like that happened. I mean, I enjoyed the TV show as well.
Thank you very much.
But it feels like that they took away something, even if some of it was improvements. Well, like there was a catchphrase that they decided at the last minute they didn't want to do.
Literally as they were coming in. So we still do it now at the Wi-Fi Wars, the show that we do with Rob, where we get people to, before we let them play a game or we do a game, we get them to all shout, "Let's do a gaming," which we got told when we were about to film the TV show we couldn't do it because it was naff, as if we didn't know it was naff. I think they were worried it was a bit quirky, a bit eggy, but the way it had evolved through the show was that at the first live show, I was always the geeky one and Sam was much cooler. And I just thought it'd be fun to have a catchphrase. That was the best shit thing I could come up with. But over the 3 years we did it live, that became a thing that we did all shout, and it was sort of like how gamers use memes and in-jokes. It was the thing that let us all know that's our silly thing that is ours. So it wasn't meant to be good, it was meant to be a sort of wink that one of us. And then, they cut it. We got graphics, but they cut it. So then we just brainstormed awful things like "Let's go clockwise," but in the absence of an auto cue saying anything different, Dara just started pulling those out his arse and using those. So all these weird.
I mean, it's weird that it happened like in the last half an hour before the show that that didn't.
Yeah, we'd been working on it for 3 years, so it'd been a lovely chat to have before and developed it. But it was a very last minute decision. But that was the last thing that fell out of the show, and until that was, I think, the only thing that you would recognise if you went back and watched the original live shows.
Right.
Just on that very last moment, it was just like, it's all gone.
But it's interesting you say that as well about those sort of catchphrases and those things that appeal to gamers, because like a lot of things, the things that are big in gaming now, and the characters you recognise, I think if they'd gone through a committee meeting, would Mario have ever existed if people said he's sort of a plumber, but he jumps on mushrooms.
He's sometimes a plumber, sort of, from Italy or not.
If you tried to put that through, or Donkey Kong, I mean, I think there was in the book you talk about the problems with Donkey Kong being compared to King Kong and the legal issues with that.
Yes.
But people just make stupid decisions in games, and then you go, I mean, Pacman, if you put that through a committee, someone will go, yeah, probably.
I mean, games are fundamentally ridiculous, but I think that the hardest bit about because we hopefully by the time this actually comes out, there'll be another show that we're working on that we're very, very close with. But the hard thing about television is, I think in about 10 years' time, the people who are in sort of gatekeeping positions in TV, they'll all have had a relationship with games in a fundamental way, and that's true age and gender in all respects. Because the people that we work with in esports, when they're in their 20s and 30s, they just all play games, and it's very common. But the process for Go 8-Bit certainly was having to educate people who might be in their 50s who haven't really touched it in 30 years and convince them games is a thing. One of the weirdest things about the process was, I think there was a general feeling on the production side of things sometimes as if, well, of course they'll let us play their games because they'll be glad of the advertising, but the video games industry makes more than movies and music and TV combined. They don't give a shit if I make a joke about it on Dave at 10 o'clock on a Tuesday night. They don't need that profile. So I think there was a misunderstanding about the nature of the relationship that maybe, I don't want to say arrogance because that's not fair, but an ignorance or a naivety about what the games company's relationship with it was going to be, and that made it quite difficult.
Yeah. But you've carried on, so you do Wi-Fi Wars, which sort of comes out of...
Yeah, well, so Wi-Fi Wars, there's no reason anybody should know. Rob Sedgebeer, who built your first website about 25 years ago.
Rob was, so, he was ours first, and we called him the Goblin King of the Internet on Fist of Fun.
I call him Rob.
So he was, I think he just got in touch with us and said, do you want to do a website? He was...
Right.
We had I can't quite remember how it started up, but we had a group of fans who went on to basically be some of the corpses were not BBC.
Yeah, some of the corpses are amusing.
Some of the corpses are amusing websites, and these guys sort of coalesced around us and ended up doing cartoons for us, and Rob ended up doing our website. We had a website sort of almost before the internet was a thing.
Yeah,
almost.
I
think we invented the internet. I think Fist of Fun invented the internet.
That's how Rob describes it, certainly. Yeah. But in a way, in all seriousness, in a way, he sort of has now. So thank you for not taking advantage of the skills that he did have and let me have them. Because what Rob's now, we've actually on Monday, as we're recording this on Monday, we just. He's developed this technology where you don't have to install anything. So on any device, any browser, any operating system, we can beam games and quiz questions to your devices. And he's been working on that for about 6 years. It started off with Pong with 6 people, and it can now be everything up to and including a 3D first-person shooter that everybody plays against each other. But what he's managed to do this year is build it on a scale where we can literally do a live global broadcast where everybody watching the live show can compete on the things and win the show. And we can even beam the gameplay back from their phone and show it on the live show. So Captain Morgan, God bless him. I mean, I'm not here to plug rum, but Diageo, who behind Captain Morgan, wanted to do this thing in pubs. So we did the first trial this week where we had 5 different pubs around the country all log in, and they're playing as themselves, but also for their teams with their mates, like a pub quiz team, and pub versus pub. But he's built this thing now where scalable. You can just do that with 1,000 pubs in 20 different countries and just have everybody playing the thing. I'm so lucky I met him. Because he has... We've just done our 5th annual lecture at the Royal Institution in Mayfair about his tech and how clever he is. They've just asked him to go back and do the Christmas lectures again for the second time, which nowadays he's an actual genius. And but we used that in Go 8-Bit. So when Go 8-Bit was a live show, the finale of the show was, right, the comedians can piss off, you're all going to play the final game, and so play by game of Pong, and you decide who wins. And then what was lovely, what really happened was, no one in TV land understood why Rob was clever or important, so we managed to make sure that in all the contracts and the deals for Go 8-Bit, no one paid Rob or owned any of his IP. So me and Rob just went, well, we'll call that Wi-Fi Wars now, and we'll go and make our money doing that, which is sort of how it's paid out, is that, so it was whilst Go 8-Bit was a frustrating process, it's a blessing they hadn't got a fucking clue, because me and Rob have now got our cool box of toys to do all this other stuff.
It is amazing. I've been down a couple of times.
Yeah.
Was the Christmas
last year's Christmas one at the RI.
Me and my wife were competing.
You did? Where he made the most complicated quiz we've ever... I can't remember. It was something... Because you like Pointless. You've got a relationship with Pointless as a show. So he made...
And with my wife as well. I have a relationship with her.
Sure, of course,
in spite of Pointless.
The double.
Yeah.
But so I think he made it not Pointless, or he inverted it, but he didn't quite understand the rules of how... It wasn't that you had to get a Pointless answer, it was the opposite of that, but not, and it was alphabetical, and there were 3 things, and it was on their phones.
Yeah, it was terrible. It's not a good advert.
It was 300 people confused. He made you your own custom game, but he did such a bad job of it that it's just 300 people.
I don't know. It's really good fun being part of an audience playing a game. You know, you think, oh, I'll be good at this, and then you work out where your ranking is, and you realise you're not very good at it.
Yeah.
That's my personal experience, but it's an extraordinary thing to get.
It's magic. I mean, we did it at Chichester on Wednesday night, and there was one woman who put herself in as embarrassing mum with her son, and she kicked his arse at every game.
Really?
It was delicious. So she gets her name on the top 10 on the scoreboard while her kids nowhere.
And is anybody else working on working on that technology elsewhere, or is this literally all?
Well, there's guys. Do you know Fox Dog Studios? They do the Fringe lot. They started off doing a similar sort of thing. They tend to do more stuff where they build really complicated computers, so you can actually control a thing that makes breakfast. Was one of their shows, Robot Chef. So they sort of do interactive phone stuff, but not in the same way. But really, no one else would have bothered to go down this bizarre career cul-de-sac that me and Robert... Because I just loved video games, and then I got lucky that the piss-up I did in Edinburgh became jokes about games and playing games. And Robert invented this thing that had nowhere to be. But we sold the format rights to Go 8-Bit, so I couldn't do it live anymore. But me and Robert developed toys. So really, the quirk of me being a video gaming comedian, which isn't a job, needing a new show, which he happened to have invented an interactive thing we could use nobody else did. Yeah. No one else would do the 6 years of development on that, because that isn't a thing. Because of where we are, that's somehow become what we do.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, well, it's great. Do check it out if you get a chance. It's really good fun and very interesting. I hope you all become millionaires off it, especially Rob, if he isn't already. He's probably secretly a millionaire off the internet somehow, isn't he? He probably owns...
He's screwed it away. He'll be in Bitcoin. He'll be all right.
Yeah, he's got a bit of Bitcoin. Right, I'm going to ask some emergency questions.
All right.
Yeah, these people have been waiting a couple of weeks for this.
Yeah.
If you... this is a newish one.
All right.
Not to the people at home. If you could have all the art galleries and the museums in the world get together and say you're allowed to have one thing and keep it for yourself. It could be a piece of art, it could be an exhibit in a museum, it could be a historical artifact. You're allowed to keep it. Which one thing?
I'm allowed to take one thing?
One thing from all the world's museums and art galleries. You can have one thing that you own. What would you have?
I mean, I immediately know what it is, but it won't be funny at all, but I'm going to tell you what it is anyway.
Yeah,
so just in the hopes of... There is a picture by Picasso called Bird on a Tree. It's the shittest picture of a bird you've ever seen. But it is beautiful. It's at the Guggenheim in New York, and it is... I don't really like Picasso, but there's a childishness to it. But there's also there's something about the colour, and there's a depth. I could stare at it for days, and I have done when I've been there. I stayed there for most of the day.
Stared at it for days?
Days.
Yeah.
In a days for days.
In a days, okay.
Sure. Yeah, so Bird on a Tree by Picasso, but there's no punch like that. I just
No, that's
really
okay.
love it.
It's
I'll just have that one, please.
Would you sell it on or would you keep it?
It depends how Wi-Fi was, doesn't it?
Okay. I'm going to ask. I'll ask you some of the new questions from the back.
These books will be available after the show as well.
Yeah,
they're
they're all available.
Yeah.
If you only had a week to live,
Yeah.
who would you tell to go fuck themselves?
In my live show, I refer to the guy who makes some interesting choices and go but as Flock Stars because he worked on the hit ITV1 celebrity sheep herding show Flock Stars. So Flock Stars would be top of the fucking list if I could get anybody. Who else should I tell to fuck off? I'll be honest, probably everyone. I bottle a lot up. So actually, my wife's here and I love her very much. But if consequence free, I could tell her to fuck off. It'd probably feel nice for 10 seconds before I had to deal with the consequence. I love you.
If you left it right to the very end, you don't have to deal with the consequences.
And there's no get out. And also, like, she knows I'm dying, so she's sort of got to take it on the chin.
Yeah.
Whereas if I tell her to fuck off tonight, which I sort of have, I'm gonna regret that.
You are.
So
you're going to wish you were dying in a week after that.
I could have picked anyone. I'd pick my wife, and she's here. Okay.
Okay, I'll go for some classic. I think the audience deserves some classic emergency questions.
Bearing in mind my wife and parents are here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Familiar with your work.
Shouldn't have brought them, is what I'm saying. If you knew what we were getting into.
No, I briefed them in the car.
If you were going to be put in a human centipede, you're in the middle. I mean, it's sort of the same answer, possibly, to the previous question. Who would you have in front of you, and who would you have behind you?
I've got a 20 quid bet with Sam Pamphlet and I'll say your kids. Just because at some point, you've got to deal with the consequences of the shit that you're throwing around on this stage.
Nasty. You're a nasty
You
man.
can pick which one's front and which one's back. Yeah, it's not so nice, is it?
It's like Sophie's Choice.
There you go.
We'll make a film of it. Have you ever seen a ghost?
Well, I don't believe in ghosts. But
This could get you on the front page of the Daily Star if you have done. That's
I don't have
saying.
Barry levels of fame. I'm realistic about where I am on the career ladder. But I lived in a... I don't believe in ghosts, but I did live in a house. It was on the High Street in Henley-on-Thames when I was doing work experience in 1999 when I was doing a management degree and I was working for some IT company. And everybody that came to the house was terrified. It was a tiny little house, like one up, one down, like tiny little place. And they sort of got a lean-to built on the back. There was a kitchen downstairs and a bathroom and the thing. And no one liked... Always kept the door shut downstairs in the lounge and upstairs in the bedroom, and no one liked the sort of back stairs. And everybody that was in the house felt uncomfortable in it. And one night, it was during Christmas, and I woke up. It was the details mean nothing because it's sort of irrelevant. But it was the one night we'd slept with our heads at the bottom of the bed. I think we'd been watching a movie on a laptop or a computer or something. So we changed the way around we were sleeping. But I woke up in the middle of the night and I woke up and I saw a woman and a child stood by the bed looking at me, holding hands. What was really weird about it was in that moment, it was the only time that house wasn't scary to be in. It didn't feel scary, which was strange. And obviously this is bullshit, but this is what happened and this is my recollection. And then, but to the point that I sort of rubbed my eyes and sort of, that's insane, and for some time was present, looking at that, to the point that I was comfortable that this is a thing.
This is my life now.
I guess I do this. I guess I just look at ghosts now. But then, for maybe about 5-10 minutes, just was present with that. But it was very calming. And then eventually, I just decided I would try to go back to just shut my eyes, and eventually sort of went back to sleep. When it was, there's a few shut your eyes and just check.
Yeah.
It hadn't turned into a horrible demon or anything, I guess. But yeah, so yes, but clearly that's insane, and I didn't see a ghost because ghosts aren't real. But I've, as much as is possible, experienced looking at ghosts for ages, as I think you can, given ghosts aren't a thing. Or else that's a ridiculous answer, but yeah. But they're not real, are they?
No, you were asleep, mate.
I think so.
It was a dream.
I agree.
It was a dream. Nice dream, though, eh? Have you ever seen...
It's a cool story to tell.
Have you ever seen a ghost in a video game?
And I'm now trying to think of like a really funny thing where there's a weird glitch in the game, something shows, but I can't think of anything. But yes, I'm sure I've seen a ghost.
Pacman, there's some in there.
Oh, piss! I'm going to be good at this.
All right, if you could have a finger that could travel through time,
Yes.
what would you do with that finger? And it's got to be, you could play any video game from anywhere with a finger.
I can
play
do that.
pinball.
I can do that without.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I don't need the portal to play games. So I've only heard this one a couple of times, but it's been in the pod. How much can I see through the little hole that I get to put my
You
finger
can see,
through?
like, it makes a hole. You can look through.
How
You can
big
look
is-
through.
give me
No,
an
I mean,
idea.
it depends how big your finger is. Your finger would go through there, and then look, you can look through that, can't you?
But like, can I tuck a second little one in there and just sort of stretch it a bit and have a peek?
No, look, that's against the laws of
So it's just
time
one. It's
travel
quite
dynamics.
tight. So it.
Just one can go in. You can't start because if you can stretch it, then you can get your head in.
Yeah, that's true. Where does that end? That would be madness.
And
Okay.
then you can crawl through like Eugene Toombs.
Yeah, all right.
I'm surprised that reference got a lot. That's a very specific audience. Oh, the first season of The X-Files, Richard. Yes, I remember that.
Can it go forward in time, or does it just go back?
Yeah, go forward in time. It could even go just stay in the present if you want, but that's a waste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it could be in other places though.
Yeah, I suppose.
If there's a thing right now I want to touch that isn't here, I've got to use the hole.
Yeah, that's true.
What I think, like, when I finally had enough, which I surely will, and it won't be long, I think what I'd like to do is I'd like to press the button that makes all the bombs go crazy.
Right, okay.
So if you could get, like, the big red button, wherever that is. I mean, there isn't one, is there? Maybe in Russia there
I
might
don't
be
think
one.
there's one button that will make all the bombs go off.
Okay.
That would be a stupid thing
Okay,
to
well,
put in.
I'd like to put my finger through and tick the box that says, yes, please make the big red button that blows up all the bombs. And then I'll have a second bang at it and then, make it all go.
You'd like to destroy the
I'd
world.
like to destroy everything.
That can be your legacy.
Yeah. Well, no one will know, but...
Well, the mutant survivors.
Okay. Cockroaches and...
You could then go through and just shout through, it was me.
Lol.
Good,
Yeah, all right.
good. That says a
I
lot.
will kill everyone and everything on Earth, Richard, with my finger.
You must do. You got married at Bletchley Park.
I did. How did you know that?
I know everything about you.
I don't really talk about my actual... Oh, we're friends on Facebook. All right. Yeah.
No, I think you mentioned it in your show.
Did I? I didn't mean to. What? Well, I filmed that. Yes, I got married at Bletchley Park.
Was that your choice?
It was
I mean,
both
we don't
my
have
choice,
to talk
yeah.
about it if you don't want to.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine. Is that all right? She's not answering.
Did you
She's either gone, maybe... Are you there? Thank
It's
you.
okay.
I can talk about my marriage.
Do
Yes,
you ever worry your wife's a ghost?
Yeah, we got married in Bletchley Park in 2000. You can't get married there now. We were very, very lucky. And when we got married there, it was actually it was in the main house.
Yeah.
But you had the entire run of the place. We got married in the library, which is beautiful, and then we had our reception in the ballroom at the back. But the best bit was actually it's not there anymore. It's turned into like cupboard or offices or something. But the original Naffy bar from from World War II was still there as it had been in the 40s. So all of the bar was actually the proper 1940s Naffy bar that all the guys at Bletchley Park had in it. It was beautiful.
Did you get to go on the Enigma machines when you were...
I mean, they've got them, but I was drunk. But
could send messages to each other?
we could just text her.
Oh, yeah,
That's
that's
right,
true. I didn't think of that. Didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Good. And you got to tell the story about the, playing. Was it in the blurb for your DVD or book? It says that this happened at your honeymoon, but I think in the book you say it was just when you're on holiday. But you were playing video games in bed on holiday.
I spent all night playing Mega Mall Story on my smartphone while I was on honeymoon with my wife.
Yeah.
To the extent, and we were in We were in Italy, and so I played video games.
It's so bad that you know the name of the game immediately, but not where you went on honeymoon immediately. That is a bad.
If anything could describe in a nutshell, it would be what I just said. I don't know where in Italy we were, but I was playing this game that I loved, and I played it all night, laying in bed on my honeymoon, and woke up the next morning and had strained my eye, so I could only focus in one eye. So I had to go to the doctor and say. Hello. I couldn't really speak Italian, but sort of, hello. I'm on my honeymoon. I've strained my eye. I can't do things. Then explaining because he needs to know. Well, how is that? What's happened on your honeymoon to make your eyes go?
I was seeing my wife naked for the first time.
Yeah. No, I was playing a video game like
Yeah.
a prick, so they had to give me an eye patch to sort of rest my eye, and then so the locals then took to calling me what was it, Il Pirata Pallida, I think, which is the pale pirate in Italian. So my wife's honeymoon was with the pale pirate in Italy for a week. Thank you for bringing that up.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Do you think you should not have played video games on your honeymoon?
It's a really good game, Richard.
Okay, fair enough.
Mega Malta, you can get it on the Switch now. It's really good. Has anyone played it? Yeah. It's good.
And is it also true, again, I think you talk about this in the DVD or the download, of when you were going on TV, they tried to make you have plastic surgery?
Cosmetic surgery.
Cosmetic
Not plastic
surgery.
surgery, cosmetic surgery.
Medicine.
Yeah, they wanted me to cut my the sty. I've got a sty on my eye.
And that's you. They can't take that out.
It's the very essence of me.
That's your gimmick.
Is a lump on my eye. I know. Well, it was really, really awkward because the big thing for me actually getting to do the show was that I know what I look like. I don't look like I should be on telly. I'm not traditionally attractive, but I am a gamer. I am a nerd, and it was important for me that actually, if I'm going to get to represent gaming and put gaming on TV, it's not been on since Games Master or Games with other things, then it should be all right that somebody looks normal and
Yeah.
I'm Jamila Jamil for chubby nerds. Is effectively it. You're welcome.
Well, like, it's a video game, so that shouldn't be an issue. But also, it shouldn't be an issue anyway. It's kind of crazy the world has come like this. If you go and look, I mean, fucking is nothing in any case.
But you can't, most people...
B, if you look at 1970s television, like, we have...
I don't think 1970s television and people on 1970s TV should be our bar for what is acceptable in 2000.
Well, no, but
that's
normal people on TV, it's the fact...
Sure.
It's, so if you looked at Open University or something, it was like... It'd be the equivalent of Bedlam now, it'd be like going to a freak show now of just really weird academic-looking people. That's what academics look like, some of them. And that's what people look like, and it's crazy that it's...
Well, it's why shows like
turned the other way
Gogglebox and things like that do so well when they come out, I think. A lot of people get very sneery about things like Gogglebox because, it's sort of a car crash TV or it's sneering at other people. But actually, it's you go, well, no, they just they seem like people that I know.
Yeah.
And there's a compelling thing that, whereas everything's sort of airbrushed and sanitised.
It's crazy we got to the point where you think if someone's on TV, they have to look that homogenised, attractive way.
Yeah.
You're a very beautiful man. I'm surprised you have a wife, but you are a beautiful man.
Thank you very much. You are also very attractive.
I
if that's
am.
what you need this to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was hoping for.
Yeah, no worries.
Good. Well, look, I'll ask you some more emergency questions. We're going to go in deep and find out what we find in the middle of this book.
All right.
This is for kids. What do you think the Tooth Fairy is doing with all those teeth?
Oh shit! Is it like trading? Are there like different tiers? Like, can you short teeth? Can you bet on the tooth market?
Maybe. Have you've got a daughter, but she's probably not lost any teeth yet.
She's not lost any teeth yet, no.
Because we're having a conversation with some friends who've got a kid slightly older than ours.
How old's your older one?
Coming up to 5.
So you have no teeth?
No teeth yet, but he's a year older. You have to if you have the discussion about how much you're going to give from the Tooth Fairy for the teeth. How much do you think? How much do you think the Tooth Fairy should give your child for a tooth?
I think anything more than a quid is obscene, surely.
Yeah, but they said £2. That was London prices.
That's
they live in London.
I'll give you £2. If you go in notes, it's got out of control.
They were talking about people giving notes. They're saying that people give notes.
Surely £5 though. No
Someone
one's saying
gave
10.
50 quid per tooth.
50 quid a tooth?
It's like £1,000 for all the teeth.
Is this one of the famous people you've had on this?
No. This was some regular people who work in show business, but not...
50 quid?
Yeah.
For how many teeth's a kid got?
20 kids, so it's 20 teeth. So
20 kids and 20 teeth?
20 kids.
Shit.
£40,000, I think.
Christ.
50 quid. Let's find out who's given the most in Northampton for their kids. Who's given more than £2 for a tooth to their child? Yeah? Who's given more? It's only you. How much is the most you've given? Man who cheered. What's the most you've given for a tooth? 250.
Oh, that's...
What, so that's very income. Do you give it in a £2 and a 50p or two? Is there loads of change in the 2p? Wake up. Lose another tooth. It's an interesting question. I would have given I'd say £1.
I think £1.
50p or
I could go 2 for the coin, but I think the biggest coin, that's plenty.
Yeah.
And I'd like to apologise to you that this got so bad as an interview that you went with a tooth auction. I'm genuinely very sorry.
So it's an interesting
It
conundrum.
is, and I will buy that book.
Good, you should do.
Okay.
Have you ever grown cress?
Have I? Yeah, everyone's grown cress.
good, isn't it?
No one, out of a little egg, you draw a face on it, you put cotton wool in it, and you wait, right?
Yeah.
Who hasn't grown cress?
I don't know. Some people have not been that lucky. These are questions for kids, all of these, but I'm
is
not
this
going
a
to
kids'
ask you
book?
at the end. Well, this section is all for kids.
Okay.
They'll go. This is off. I'll get off the kids' questions.
All right.
Okay, it's another cress-based question.
Another cress-based question.
Which is superior cress, land or water? In your opinion?
I didn't know there were two. You've
Yeah,
blown
it
my
was
tiny
watercress.
mind. What's land? Is land cress the egg cup?
Land cress is the cress you've grown.
Okay.
But if you...
Watercress is the stuff in the posh salad bags.
yeah, and
big
also in
stuff.
the water.
And, yeah, all right, yeah. Before it's in the bags, it comes from a place.
They grow it in a river.
All right. I mean, I don't think I've eaten the egg cup cress since I was little.
Okay.
Do you get that anywhere? It's all watercress now, is it?
No, you can get both.
Where'd you get the little one from?
Do you just grow that yourself? You can get cress is readily available in all stores.
Okay.
What would you say is your favourite cruciferous vegetable?
It's like the lumpy ones. I'm not very...
Cruciferous includes cress, broccoli.
Oh, yeah, broccoli.
Okay,
Broccoli every
that's
time.
good because I couldn't think of any others.
Cauliflower? Cauliflower?
Yeah, probably cauliflower.
Let's
Any cruciferous experts in? No. It must be something to do with crucifixes, mustn't it?
I sincerely doubt it.
I guess it must be cruciferous. It must come from the same
Crucif-
thing as crucifix. Let's get Richard Coles back on. Ask
Yeah,
him about
no,
that.
please.
Who's your favourite person who's been crucified? Would you say out of all the people who've been crucified?
Yeah, I wonder why he didn't get the book while he was
Who
here.
do you think the best one was out of all the people who've been crucified in history?
If I had to pick,
Yeah.
it's probably Jesus, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Jesus was a good
If I had to
one.
pick one, it's
Yeah.
probably...
If you could stop Jesus being crucified,
Yeah,
I can't remember if we had this conversation or if this is a question, but if you could, I see people always talk about going back in the past and killing baby Hitler. No one goes, why don't we go back in past and save grown-up Jesus from being crucified?
No, but then we wouldn't have all been saved and sins.
I know,
We
but
have to kill Jesus.
Jesus would be cross because if you go, no, I have to do this, and you go, no, Jesus, you're brilliant, I love you. Christianity probably wouldn't exist. The world would be a much worse place. So what you're saying is it's good Jesus got crucified.
I'm delighted.
Yeah. That's what
Yes.
you're saying. He did it for us.
Yeah.
But he'd be annoyed, wouldn't he? Well, if he's real, he'd be annoyed. If he's not,
But he wouldn't, because he was all right with it, wasn't he?
No, what are you going? Why have you forsaken me?
Oh, yeah, no, he did.
He was really pissed off about
He
it.
was livid.
Oh, Father, why the fuck are we? What? We didn't agree on this. I'd never have come down if I knew this was part of the deal. That's what. It's not in the Bible.
Maybe
specifically.
some of the arguments in religion aren't completely bulletproof.
Yeah.
It's a good job he's gone.
He's waiting at the back.
Oh,
He'll
shit.
cut him.
Okay.
Right, we're gonna have, it's all flown by so quickly today. I'm going to have to. I'll ask you this question.
All right.
Question 899.
Yeah.
When, to be fair, it was getting quite hard to come up with any more questions by this stage of writing the book. Would you rather suck off a troll or be bummed by a leprechaun? It's a very good question.
I'm allowed follow-ups, though.
You are? What, of questions?
Yeah, so...
Yeah, go.
I need to paint a picture. So, how big's this troll?
Well, you know, you have to decide that. That's not for me to say. I would say
Well,
a leprechaun is small.
In Frozen, aren't those little stone things trolls? They're not very big. But
There
like
are-
in Troll Hunter, they're fucking massive.
There are big trolls, there are little trolls. I would imagine a troll has a gnarly, possibly barbed penis.
Yeah, but if the barb was big enough, I wouldn't necessarily be getting that anywhere near my mouth, would I? Like if it's like an 8-foot dick, a barb 3 foot down, it's not going to cause any
Yeah, I
problems.
don't think it's an 8-foot dick. I think, like gorillas...
Well, it depends how big the troll is.
Well,
That's-
gorillas are big, but they have very small penises. So it could be that system.
Gorillas aren't trolls, of course, famously.
No, but they're big.
Okay.
You're saying because something's big, it's got a big penis. That is not true. I'm very small, and I have a very big
Small penis, yeah. Okay, all right. So, all right. Well, I'll take an 8-foot troll with a 2-foot dick, which might have a barb on it.
Yeah.
And what? So leprechauns.
Leprechauns. They're tiny little leprechauns.
They're about that, aren't they? They're
Yeah,
about
they're
4.
very little. Their dicks are definitely small. You
Who's
wouldn't even feel
cleaner
it.
though? That's really what this is about, isn't it?
Doesn't matter if it's going up your bum, does it?
Oh, hang on. So sorry, so the troll's going in the mouth.
You're sucking off the troll, or you're
Right.
being bummed by a leprechaun.
Oh, I'll take the bum. I wouldn't even fucking spot it. That's fine.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
No,
I'll
pay
take the
attention.
leprechaun in the arse, please,
Pay
Richard.
attention.
Thank you.
Um,
900.
yeah. I've gone back. I've gone
gone,
back
all
in
right.
time. I've gone back to. Have you ever been in the proximity of one of your heroes and been too shy to say anything to them?
Ooh.
Who are your heroes? Present company accepted.
Sure. Dara O'Brien's Go 8-Bit wasn't the first Dara O'Brien show I did.
Right.
So the first time I worked with Dara was he had another show on Dave called School of Hard Sums.
Yes.
And I went to some sort of rap, because I was in one of the episodes, just like a little actor doing a little bit in one of the things. I went to the rap party and he was there and I was too scared to speak to him then.
Oh.
So Dara O'Brien, I was too scared to talk to.
Wow.
I know.
Imagine if you.
And now he won't talk to me.
Imagine if you not ever got over that and you just had to sat there going.
Yeah,
Would have made the TV.
Well, in the
show.
edit, sometimes it does look like that. But.
So what's coming up that you can tell us about?
Well, we're gonna do this thing where you can go to a pub and then you can all join in and play on the Wi-Fi Wars thing.
Yeah.
My solo show comes out on DVD. Well, it'll be out on DVD by the time you get this, and the book is out. Mass paperback one comes out next April. I am 99% confident we've got a new TV show, a new video gaming thing with comedians, more contemporary games rather than retro stuff. So, I'm dicking around, play video games on all the forms of media that they'll let me, and just doing it in my house when I'm not busy.
So Twitch, you can see you
Yes.
on Twitch. You do that every night because Limmy does it every night, doesn't he?
Well, he's proper though, isn't he?
Yeah.
Limmy's a mate. Limmy's gone full into it. So Limmy does maybe like 6-8 hours a day, and he'll just drive a truck for 8 hours in the middle of the night, and everybody will watch it. And he's amazing. The best thing Limmy does actually is he does like improvised stories and things. So he actually does evolve and improvise comedy live on Twitch, and he's even vision mixing with he's got like a stream deck so he can change camera angles and stuff. It is as the equal of, if not better than everything else he's done. Limmy's doing amazing. I literally just go, I'll probably play Mario Kart for a bit.
Okay.
In my house, so I can't.
Do I have to? Do you have to pay to watch any of it, or can you watch it for free?
No, it's all free. You can subscribe if you want to, or you can donate money as one-off things if you want to. But no,
Donate
it's all free.
money, and if you donate money, can I make you do things? Because I've seen sites like
That will depend how much I've drunk when I'm doing it. Yeah, but certainly it's happened.
Yeah. Okay.
Try me.
I'll try and see what happens. Will you play a video game with your cock out? How much do I have to pay for that?
Well, that breaches T's and C's, so you'll have to slide into my DMs for that one.
Okay.
I'm not saying it can't happen, but it won't happen on Twitch.
Good. Well, the future is an amazing place.
Isn't it?
Where I
It's
can
exactly
watch
what
a
you
man play. I mean, to be fair, I spent a lot of my youth just watching someone play video games, just behind their shoulder or whatever, as they were
You
playing.
watch your sibling do it or whatever.
Yeah. So it's just the same as that, right? So it's normal.
It's definitely not normal. It is weird, but
okay.
it's nice. If you've never done the Twitch thing and you're wondering what it is and it sounds really weird, think of it more as talk radio. So it is like people don't really watch it. A lot of people, it's just sort of on in the background. So people are typing little messages to me, and I have a little chat with them. So it's more like having talk radio on in the background. So it isn't weird. It's just a bit of company when you do the dishes. That's all it is. But I'm being shit at games while we chat.
Okay.
It's not weird.
I'll never understand the future. I'm just a generation where someone makes a podcast and puts it out, and that is normal. That is the normal thing.
You're old-fashioned in that way.
I am very old-fashioned. Yeah. It's been fantastic to talk to you. Do buy the book. It is called Hey Listen, History of Videos.
Games.
That would be the... I didn't write the games down, so then I was thinking, it's got to be video games.
It must be video
The History of Video is a different book. And it's really fantastic. I'm listening to it on audiobook, because I listen to all my books because I'm too tired to read. I'm too tired to finish this.
That's all right. You've
Ladies
done the hour.
Ladies and gentlemen, mass round of applause, Steve McNeil! Thank you very much. I'll see you in the bar if you're interested. How'd you like them sky potatoes?